I went to a school which had corporal punishment. So Sanar is like a ex-British military academy, right? And so now they no longer do that. But back when I went to school, you were allowed to hit a kid with a hockey stick and lots of like murga and corporal, drills and all of that stuff. And I was the kid who wouldn't shut up during the beating. So he hit me with a hockey stick and I'm like, bada acha lag raha hai aapko? Are you tired? And even the guy would be like, yeah, chup ho ja so I can stop beating you. I really don't know how I survived. All I know is I had 2-3 losers with me at all times. There's nothing like having
I love that.
a group of fellow losers either we all failed together, right? Or we all got beaten up together. Or we all had a crush on the same girl and she rejected all of us. There's great bonding to be found in rejection and failure. So yeah.
Did you all try to do things to fit in? Because there's also all that pressure when you are a misfit. Before you accept that it's okay to be a misfit, you first are trying to fit in.
No, I don't think there was any hope. Yeah. Like sometimes I meet people who went to Sanar, which is this boarding school I was in for 4 years, right? They have no clue I was there. Because I'd made no impression. I was bullied a lot, so I just kind of lived in my own head. And I was like, draw as little attention to yourself as possible. So yeah, there was no in. There's no fitting in.
It's not something that too many people speak of, like bullying in particular. Yeah. I think most of us in some way have been bullied because the society finds a way of finding something about you, especially when you're a child, to keep you conformed. That if I bully this person, if I tell this person that you have to be like this, you have to be this way, etc., you will conform. What were you getting bullied for, if I may ask?
Being the kid from Africa, often. I think, not bullying now, but it's till date noticed that the way I speak English is a little posher than, the average Indian English accent, for instance. And that's just by virtue of where I've grown up, etc. And we equate posher English with privilege, right? Sometimes falsely so, by the way. I've friends who I went to college with who have British accents, proper British accents, but their parents own a post office.
Yeah.
Or their parents own a convenience store in London. In terms of bullying, it's very cheesy, but hurt people, yeah. It really rings true. And a lot of like Purana boarding schools have a legacy of, we will break you down and build you in the image of a Dosco or a Mayoite or a Dipsite or whatever. And I think that graduates 2 types of people. Do you have uncles who are 60 years old but still talking about shit they did when they were 10 years old? You know what I mean? Those types of people, and sometimes complete misfits. The more institutionalized the discipline is.
Yeah, I hear you. You said Mio, and it's so interesting. So when I was in 10th standard, 8th, 9th standard, I used to write for the local newspaper magazine in Bahrain where I grew up. And I used to write my opinions even as a 14, 15-year-old, and that is obviously not allowed among other 14, 15 years old. So I would get bullied a lot at that time. I decided to leave Bahrain and got admission in Mayo College, Ajmer. And I remember my parents and I going to the principal. This is on the day they're dropping me off, okay? And then for the next 2 hours, literally, he just sat and told my parents about... So he's obviously going to get bullied a lot, he is overweight, so people are going to hit him, beat him, they will take his clothes sometimes, they will steal his shoes. He won't get to call you, more than once in a week because we don't allow that. But I can promise you, at the end of 2 years, he's going to be somebody you do not recognize. My parents are hearing this and saying, am I sending him to jail? And my mom got so freaked out. She's like, can we take him back?
She took you back?
She took me
well
back.
Done, auntie. Yes.
She literally had a fit with my father saying like, I am going to leave you if you leave my son over here with these people. I said, I love you, mom.
Nighttime is a great equalizer is what I've learned. So my parents were in Africa when I was near Kasauli when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I tried to run away thrice. thinking I'll run from Kasauli to Africa. I got as far as Dharampur, right, before I was brought back. But, 9, boys are homesick here.
Yeah.
And boys are not allowed to cry in front of other boys.
Yeah.
Right? So, agar aap dormitory dekho boarding school ka, it's 40 beds in a row. Right? So, aapke aur aapke uske beech mein there's maybe 4 feet, right, of space. But when it was night and the lights would be off, then you would hear boys crying in their bed. And that at that time, you'd know even the guy who's bullying me 10 beds down, even he's little homesick. Like I remember there's this one guy called Samta, all right, who sang Pahadi songs in his sleep. So it's the weirdest soundscape where you just hear like 10 days and then you just hear Pasho Patoma O Meri Gangi Pasho Patoma Ho, and we were Samta, shut up, go to sleep, bastard, etc. Chithi likhani.
You know what's funny is that I decided that I want to go to boarding school because I was like, I can't take the bullying. Because I was getting bullied, my younger brother started getting bullied because they're just like, Acha, you are his brother, so now we're going to bajao you even worse. So I was actually leaving because I didn't want my brother to get hurt. And I really believe, I think I have willed the universe to for that day to happen, because the previous night I was crying. I was crying in my bed and I was thinking, I don't want to leave my mom. It's either like the God heard me or the principal heard me. But I was just like, thank God this has happened.
But I think the one thing that I do want to say to you guys is like, bullies don't grow out of bullying for a lot of them. So bullying never ends.
Yeah.
In terms of you will meet bullies. From school to college to the corporate environment to socially, politically, all of that stuff. You will find bullies in your life, right? And bullying is terrible not because of how you feel in the time you spend interacting with a bully. It's much worse in the time you spend away from that bully thinking about that bully. Kal school jana hai, should I have to go to work with that person tomorrow, etc. So it's not the 1 hour meeting that you have with that person at work, it's that 12 hours at home you spend thinking I have to go, that's where a bully really damages you. So if you have a bully na, just go straight up into their face. You know what I mean? And stand right up. You probably lose. Maybe you get the shit beaten out of you. But you won't spend 12 hours thinking about that bully. I mean, I promise you nothing scares a bully more than that. But at least you'll be able to live with yourself for the rest of your day. Yes. Yeah.
And you also, I think after some point you realize you are not even of that much consequence to them as in your head you think you are.
9 times out of 10, a kid who bullies you is probably going through a 10 times tougher home environment than you are.
Possibly. Possibly.
So all the guys who really were very violent in school had fathers who were very, had very tough home environment.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share.